Good evening. My name is George Russell. I'm the chairman of the Public Works Committee, the subcommittee of the Worcester City Council. Other member here, Councilor Jenny Pasillo, is at the table here to my right. Third member, Councilor Merrill Carlson, called me and advised me to start without her because she was stuck in traffic trying to make her way back from the Boston area. And so she'll be running late. She might join us. Commissioner Westerling and Assistant Commissioner Mello is also here at the table. Our Deputy City Clerk, A.J. Pottle, is behind me. What we're going to do is go through the agenda as it's posted. There are copies in the hallway if you didn't get it. We're going to ask each item. We'll see if there's anyone online that wants to be heard. Mr. Clerk, could you read item 1 and explain to folks how to be recognized online?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, and in order to ensure active public engagement, City of Worcester currently allows for both in-person and remote participation in its meetings. To partake in the meeting, you can either come in person or you can join via Zoom. The Zoom link is listed on the Granicus portal of the application, and the phone number for tonight is 1-646-828-7666, and the access code is 161-599-2759. We would ask if you're using Zoom and you would like to speak on an item, you use the raise hand function, which is in the bottom center of the Zoom app, or you can dial *9 to do so if you're on a phone. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have anybody online, by the way, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chairman, we have one person online.
Okay, so that person will have to raise their hand or do whatever they have to do to, if they want to be heard on a specific item. We're going to move through the agenda. The approval of minutes, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. 3, honorary street name designation. This item was put forward by Councilor Bergman and Councilor Hajii. Request Sutton Lane from Fremont Street to St. John's Road be given the honorary street designation of Perlman Family Way. Councilor Bergman and Councilor Hajii, as well as Senator Emeritus Harriet Chandler, advocated to me to get this on the agenda soon so that it could be done. This family has done an awful lot for the city as a whole, and especially the Jewish community. If anyone is online and would like to be heard on it, or if anyone's here and would like to be heard on it, you're welcome to come to the microphone. If you do make comments, try to keep them within about 2 minutes if you can. Try not to be repetitive of other speakers. And that's pretty much it. Identify yourself by name and city or town of residence. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Rabbi Aviva Fellman. I am both a resident and an employee here in the city of Worcester at Congregation Beth Israel. Richie and Bobby, and really the whole family, Marilyn included, were embraced by our community, and more so embraced our community. Richie, whose funeral I did, was somebody who embraced life and living and yet truly understood mortality. He was someone with a huge personality who could hold you and care for you even when you didn't know that you needed support. And he was someone whose impact in his family and in his community is felt and still felt and will be felt for a long time. He was larger than life. He had a sharp and incredible sense of humor, and he never really learned to whisper. He could also be serious at times. He had a designated phone line in his home for the funeral home, and when it rang, the whole house knew that it was time for business. And he would give whoever was on the phone his undivided attention. He saw his responsibility as taking care of those who needed, not just in ensuring that each Jew in Worcester had an honorable burial, regardless of their ability to pay, but also in visiting and caring for family and friends. And much of his identity and joy came from the Perlman family funeral home that was the family business. He had a strong work ethic and believed that the key to success in school, relationships, sports, and even a career was working hard. The more you worked or studied, the more doors opened for you, and he really lived that and demonstrated it for our whole community. As a member of clergy who worked with him closely, I really saw the lasting impact that he had, even in the last decade as his health had started to fail. He never gave up trying to advocate and work for others. And I can think no better honor to keep his name visible in our community than renaming this part of the street right outside of the same cemetery where he and his beloved wife and his parents are buried. Thank you.
Rabbi, thank you very much. Could one of you there please open that door in the back, please? We don't want to have a closed meeting. We want to be, thank you. Mr. Nathan, could you identify yourself, name and city of residence, please?
Certainly. Friend Nathan Worcester. I think the previous speaker, the rabbi said it all. I just want to say from a personal point, I used to have coffee with him, not every day, but quite often if I was available at the Dunkin' Donuts at Tatney Square. And he was a man that was definitely had a lot of stories, and I told him a few stories too, and it was always a good time to see him, and he is missed. Plain and simple.
Thank you, Mr. Nathan. Anyone else who would like to be heard? Name and city of residence?
I'm Rick Mansfield. I live in Holden. Although I spent the first 6 years of my life on Vernon Hill in a three-decker, and
You're almost a constituent then.
went to Doherty Memorial High School before landing in Holden, where I took over a funeral home, opened a second, and the third, which is now in Worcester on Lincoln Street. I'm honored to be here. Richie Perlin was a dear friend of mine. I've known Richie since I was a kid when I started in funeral service. Our funeral home used to bring our hearse down to his funeral home, and I learned how to care for people from Richie Perlman. So later in life, when the funeral home had closed, Richie reached out to me, and knowing that we had a lot in common and had a lot of common friends, we joined and had a partnership. And he became a very close friend to me, my family, and to all the funeral directors that I know. Now, this goes back a long way with this Richie Perlman, and he's cared for families for over 60 years as a licensee. I was president of the Greater Worcester Funeral Directors, and he spearheaded and helped us get the medical examiner back into Worcester. Not here now, but we had a good 25 years of having the medical examiner right here in Worcester. So he was always spearheading programs in the city, looking out for those who were less privileged, and they didn't have to be Jewish. He looked out for everybody, and that's what made him so special. It would be a great tribute, a great honor, and a great legacy to have this name, this road, renamed under the Perlman name. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just to be clear, this is not a renaming, this is an honorary street naming. Therefore, anyone that owns property on these roads, on this road, or this street, will not have to change any of their legal addresses or that kind of thing. I see Senator Chandler has joined us. Welcome, Senator. I already announced that the item, and we've announced that you've advocated for it, but you're welcome to come to the microphone and be heard, Senator Chandler. Senator Chandler is retired, but I'm still making her work.
What is going on here tonight, George?
Huh?
Mr. Counselor, what is
Well,
going on here?
down the hall, there's a promotion for some police officers. That's why there's a big crowd. But
I don't
we're
think
here just to do our usual work at the Public Works Committee.
Well, I am delighted, and I want to say thank you to
Pull the
you
microphone down,
and to your
Senator.
committee for having us come tonight. I assume that this may be your last meeting?
Almost. We have another quick meeting next week,
Well,
just for one item, though.
I want to thank you for your service. You've done a wonderful job, and I wanted this to be part of your agenda, if
Thank you.
possible. And I really want to say thank you. And I want to thank you on the decision to hire this gentleman, whom I've known for a long time. When I was in the legislature and in West Boylston, he was an outstanding public works commissioner there. So he can
Commissioner
only be
Westerling does a
outstanding here.
great job. That's
I'd like-
why when I retire, I'm forwarding all my calls to him, directly to him.
Well, you make good choices. I'm speaking to the whole committee. I'm
Yes.
speaking to you.
Thank you.
Basically, and The City of Worcester now provides a process to honor residents of the community who have demonstrated significant positive impact on the community. And so I am respectfully requesting this board's endorsement of my petition, which is also supported by District Councilor Haxish and Councilor Bergman, with an honorary street sign for the Perlman family at the following location: Sutton Lane between Fremont Street and St. John's Lane. I want to just say a few words, and then I want to read a letter from, actually what I want to do is introduce my friend Richard Cedar, who will like to speak about this from his experience. The Perlman family have for 110 years been the Jewish undertakers of Worcester. This is a group of people that you never think twice about what they do. You just basically assume that they're just doing their job, and they are. But it's a job that's done with, when the job is done with care and compassion and concern, it's very special. And so we would like to honor them. The youngest son has died. I say that, no, the middle son has died. And nobody is running the business. He is now with Mr. Mansfield in Mr. Mansfield's funeral parlor. So I can only tell you that there is not a Jewish family in Worcester who has not had some contact with this family. And each person has had a feeling of being cared for very personally, being cared for very sensitively, and it has made a huge difference at a time of great despair. So I urge you to permit this to go to the next step, whatever that may be. And I have one more letter to read to you, and this is from the Executive Director of the Jewish Federation in Worcester, who was not able to be with us tonight. And he writes, "Dear Senator Chandler, thank you for inquiring with me regarding Jewish Federation's support for the honorary naming of Sutton Lane, adjacent to B'nai B'rith Cemetery, as the Perlman Family Way. We view this plan favorably and would see no reason to oppose. Indeed, there are many Jewish community members who appreciate the decades of attention and care provided to mourning families of the Central Mass Jewish community by the Perlman family." And it's signed by Stephen Schimmel, who is the Executive Director of the Jewish Federation of Central Massachusetts. Your time is precious, and I don't want to take any more of your time. Do you have any questions to ask of me?
Senator, thank you very much. I think we're all set, and we're going to move the item forward to send it to the council for final approval. That's what this committee does.
That would be wonderful, but I want you to
Sure,
hear what
if
Mr.
other
Cedar
people
has
would
to
like
say.
to come to the microphone, identify yourself, and give us another minute or two of testimony, we're more than happy to receive you.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
Pull the microphone right up to you. There.
My name is Richard Cedar.
Hi, Richard.
How are you,
Good.
ladies and gentlemen? Okay, thank you. I'm probably the oldest guy around that can remember the Perlmans, being 85 years old. My family has been in Worcester for over 100 years. My grandparents are buried at the Jewish cemetery. My parents are buried at the Jewish cemetery. And every Jew in the city of Worcester has been touched by the love and generosity and professionalism by which the Perlmans ran the funeral business. It was just fabulous. I grew up with Richie Perlman, passed away about a year ago. Knew him very well, nicknamed Digger, for those people that don't remember that. But all I say is I can only say I would strongly recommend and appreciate if the proposal that Dr. Chandler made this evening be approved. I think it's a wonderful tribute to the family. They did so much for the city of Worcester and continued the tradition after Richie could no longer function as a funeral director with Miles Funeral Home, and the job continues, and I'm sure that he'll be around for a long time, and his name will be remembered for a long time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
Thank you for coming. Mr. Clerk, is there anyone else online that is raising their hand? Interrupt me if there is.
I will, Mr. Chairman. At this time, no one is.
Okay, and I would recommend, move approval to recommend to the entire city council to add this item. Any discussion? Councilor Pasillo? And roll call.
Councilors Merrill Carlson, Pasillo,
Yes.
and Chairperson Councilor Russell.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So it'll be on the next agenda for the Worcester City Council, I believe. And if anyone would like to, that'd be not this evening, but a week from tonight, I believe. Am I correct, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
Okay, good. Thank you. Next item is B. Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests Commercial Street from MLK Boulevard to Foster Street be given the honorary name designation of Sandy Dunn Way. This was also something we wanted to move forward. Mr. Nathan, you want to be heard again? I'll bend all the rules I can for you, but please, since you spoke already, try to do it as quickly as you can.
Thank you, Fred Nathan Worcester. Just to be clear, Counselor, I don't know if there's a moratorium on how many items, and since you call them up individually. But,
ahead.
I mean, you are the chair. So, I think Sandy Dunn gave a good part of her life here in Worcester, running formerly known as the Centrum, the DCU, and they'll be changing the name probably within weeks or months, and will be known as something else. But I think when someone puts in over 40 years and runs an institution that has made put Worcester on the map as much as it ever has, I think that's not asking too much for them to name a part of the street the Sandy Dunn Way. So it's kind of a no-brainer.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to be heard on this, Mr. Clerk?
Not at this time, Mr. Chair.
Okay, move approval on this. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilors Merrill Carlson, Pasillo,
Yes.
and Chairperson Councilor Russell.
Yes. Miscellaneous items, petitioner Jeffrey Lewis, on behalf of Benjamin Associates LLC, request installation new sewage system on Arctic Street, as well as a new drainage system on Plastic Street as shown on the attached plans. Before I hear from anyone, I'm going to ask Assistant Commissioner Mello, is there any, would you like to give us a quick overview and your recommendation?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. So this is related to the new residential construction off of Franklin Street. I'm pretty sure everyone's aware of that now. We've had a few buildings come down over there. So in order to serve that development, we need to extend the sewer. The developer came to the Department of Public Works several months ago to discuss this, so we've had numerous conversations. Our department is okay with the plans, so we recommend approval of this petition at the applicant's cost.
Okay, is there any conditions you want to add to it?
At this point, no. Anything that we need to add to that will be taken care of in the utility agreement between the department and the applicant.
I don't, if you'd like to speak, you're welcome to, but you're
I'm
better
not
off
sure what else I
while
can
you're
add.
ahead.
But other than thank you.
All right. Anyone like to be heard on this online, Mr.
Oh,
Clerk?
I'm actually joined by Chris Anderson. If you have questions of the
Oh,
site.
he's online?
He's
Okay,
the
so
gentleman
we're all
online.
set according to our staff that staff is okay with it, so I know I'm okay with it. Council Pasillo, are you okay with it?
I'm okay with this.
Okay,
yes,
so
thank you.
motion to approve. All those in favor, opposed, so voted. Item B, Councilor Jenny Pasillo requests sidewalk repair in the area of 31 Brandon Road. Councilor Pasillo, you want to be heard on this?
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Mr. Chair. We would just really appreciate any help on Brandon Road. The sidewalk definitely needs some attention.
Mr. Mello, why is there your recommendation to leave to withdraw?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we recommended leave to withdraw for this because Brandon Road was going to be resurfaced in 2026. So the sidewalk will be taken
Okay.
care of at that point in time. We did take a look at the sidewalk just to make sure there was nothing like a real
Was
significant.
that previously picked, or did Council Pasillo decide to do that?
I'm not sure I could find that information for you.
Okay, well, if it isn't, if it wasn't, maybe you want to remind her before she does her picks.
But it is, in fact, it is, I would assume it has been picked because it is lined up in a contract.
Okay,
So,
good. That's good.
We did take a look at the sidewalk anyway to make sure there wasn't an immediate safety concern out there, and the guys really didn't identify one, so we're comfortable leaving this until the spring.
One of the things I talked to Commissioner Raleigh about today was these picks that we're trying to get done quickly as the term ends. We want to make sure that we're picking things that are actually going to be done. So it behooves the departments to get together and have a conversation, because it doesn't make sense to pick them, to take money out of the budget, put it up on a shelf, and then have it wait because we're waiting for the gas company or some other utility to do their work for years to come. So, so we're going to do, are you okay with the recommendation, Councilor Pasillo?
Yes, I'm very happy with this. Thank you.
Okay, so they have moved the DPW's recommendation, which is leave to withdraw. All those in favor, opposed, so voted. Councilor Pasillo again requests the installation of additional street light in the vicinity of 6 and 8 Emily Street. The recommendation from DPW is approval. Is that correct, Mr. Mello?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So we recommend approving the installation of a new street light in this location. This is a National Grid-owned pole, so it actually make this a little bit easier because there's electricity already there. So the cost.
When
for
do you
this-
expect that'll actually happen?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. A street light is something that's not exposed to the weather concerns of excavation, so I assume we could have this up within a few months. I'm not.
Okay.
I can find out the exact timeline and how far out the
All right.
street light company is for you, but the cost is $800. So this is
Is how much?
$800.
Oh, okay.
So this is
Very
low
reasonable.
money to achieve a safety improvement in the area.
Councilor Pasillo should have asked for more lights if they're that reasonable. Go ahead. Any comment on this, Councilor?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to
Okay,
DPW
so
for helping.
we'll move the DPW recommendation, which is to approve. All those in favor, opposed, so voted. Councilor Colorio requests the installation of a guardrail on Jonathan Circle side of 381 Hamilton Street. Recommend a leave to withdraw from on this, right, Mr.
Yes,
Mello?
sir.
Why is that?
So-
This is where the car went right through the house, I think, isn't it?
Correct. So this is where a car went through the front porch of a home. So excuse me as I get into a little bit of minutia here involving guardrails, but I think it'll help paint the picture.
Okay.
So when we look at guardrails, we consider what we call warrant conditions, or does this warrant a guardrail? So there are 5 conditions. 4 of them are based on objects being in the area adjacent to the roadway that a motorist could hit. The 5th one is being crash history. So we took a look at this location, and the warrants 1 through 4, which are all related to objects on the roadside, were not applicable to the situation. This location failed all those warrants. So the only one that could have been applicable was crash history. We took a look at the crash history. There was only 1 crash here this year, which would also fail this warrant. And then in addition to this crash occurred at 11 a.m. By an impaired individual. So, this is essentially one of the crashes that should just not occur. And if the guardrail was there, it just would have been someone that hit the guardrail rather than hitting the house.
So it would have been more dangerous, is what you're saying.
Yes, in essence, because the other bit about guardrails are meant for deflective strikes in the parallel direction of travel, right? So you hit a guardrail and you bounce off of it. Guardrails are not meant for perpendicular strikes, so
impact,
this
yeah.
would have been potentially fatal to the motorist.
Okay. Is the applicant was Councilor Colorio, so I don't think she's here. Is there anyone online that would like to be heard on this? You'd like to be heard, sir? Why don't you come up to the microphone? Thank you, Mr. Nathan. You identify yourself just for the folks at
Hello,
home that are
I'm-
listening in?
I'm Joe Paparella. I'm the owner of 381 Hamilton Street. I've lived there all my life. This wasn't the first accident. The first accident was about 12 years ago, but it was minor damage, so I took care of it myself. I didn't want to bother the insurance company, So, but this year, on September 20th, I believe, this car must have came down
Oh, I know. It took out
The
the whole
hill.
front of the house.
He must have been going 60 miles an hour,
I know, I saw it.
and he must have hit the curb, went up in the air, crashed through my porch, knocked down the second porch as well, and whatever kept the third floor porch up, I don't know.
I know.
But anyway, luckily I had good insurance, and this time I had to use the insurance, you know. So anyway, they've put new siding on the house. It looks beautiful, actually, now. It didn't look bad before, but now it looks really great. But anyway, I'm afraid that, you know, something like this is going to happen. And, you know, behind the porches, the first room in the house is my bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't want some truck coming
You don't want to
through.
make it a drive-through.
Exactly. So I figure, I don't know, maybe a guardrail from the sidewalk on Hamilton Street.
Why don't we do this? Because what the DPW staff is telling us, it will actually be more dangerous for them to install the guardrail because of the angle, because it would be more of an impact for cars. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mr.
Yeah, and
Miller.
it's, I hate to frame this particular incident this way, but at 60 miles an hour, the guardrail wouldn't have done anything. You would have ended up, besides kill the motorist. So you would have killed the motorist and then had a car in your house. They wouldn't have done anything. When cars strike guardrails at 60 miles an hour, the guardrail is struck.
I see guardrails
that
all over
direction.
all over town.
Yeah. So
Is there
and-
something that could be recommended by DPW that might be able to provide some added safety to this resident to hopefully slow down traffic, if not necessarily a guardrail, for example, maybe a higher curb, maybe a Jersey barrier, maybe advice, we've had other houses where people have just put big old rocks in their front yard. And that, but would that be even make it more dangerous because they would have something to hit?
Yeah, I would not want to offer that the city do anything in this situation here, because this, and I hate, again, to frame it like this, is kind of an outstanding situation, right? So we have an impaired motorist at 11 a.m. going 60 miles an hour. There's nothing I can do here short of putting something in that's going to kill that motorist to stop that crash from happening. If this was something where we had, 2 crashes in a year or 3 crashes in a year, I think the actual warrant says 4, but using those as an example. So say we had in that vicinity of 4 crashes a year here, and these were common speeds, something like 35 miles an hour. That's when we're going like, okay, there's something clearly wrong with this curve, this intersection, and we need to do something to protect the home behind it.
How about just this? How about a sign on the road showing the curve, like further up, like to warn people about the curve at least? Some kind of extra, even some kind of reflective signage in the vicinity of the curve.
So
that the reflective signage at least would get people's attention.
Yeah, we could take a look at adding signage here with our partners over at DTM. They handle a lot of the
Okay.
signage for the roadway. But it is a fairly wide open stretch of road, too.
All right. So why don't we see if the Department of Transportation and Mobility could work with the
I don't
Public
think a
Works staff?
sign is going to make any difference, especially to a guy like that.
Yeah.
I think this might be potentially something where Transportation and Mobility explores a traffic calming measure,
Okay.
like maybe something along that physical line there, because that's what will encourage people to slow down.
All right, why don't we do this? We'll grant the leave to withdraw, but also we'll do chairman's orders to ask the Department of Transportation and Mobility to work in conjunction with the Department of Public Works to come up with a plan for traffic calming measures in that vicinity of the curve to further, clarify for travelers they're coming along. Whether maybe it's just something as simple as striping on the street. Maybe it's just something more reflective, whatever it may be. But I understand your professional opinion is basically telling us that a guardrail, which is what this petition is for, would actually do more damage to the general public than it would do good. And we'll have to take your recommendation because you're the expert on it from what I can see. And as far as going forward, if you wanted to come back in with another petition in the future and try it again, with a different, at some other time, you're welcome to do it. I don't know, how Councilor Corey, did you, something before traffic and parking? Or was it something she did as a constituent service thing?
Mr. Chairman, I actually have a recommendation. Perhaps a petition to traffic and parking to DTM to explore traffic calming measures in the area.
Okay, why don't we include that in the chairman's orders? Mr. Clerk, do you have all that?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
I want to also
Hold on
add
just a minute.
that my second floor
Hold on just a
tenant.
second, sir. Mr. Clerk, did you have the items?
I'm sorry, what was that, Mr. Chairman?
Did you have the items that Mr. Mello wanted to add to the chairman's order?
I do have that amendment. Yep,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
Excuse me, sir. Go ahead.
My second floor tenant, him and his wife, in the warm months, they use their front porch quite a bit. And they were on that porch that day, and they had, one of them just left when the accident happened, and they were just lucky.
Yep.
So, I mean, you're talking about, the safety of some guy who crashes into somebody's house. What about the people who live in that house?
Yeah.
What about our safety?
So I can offer this while I don't think it's in the city's best interest to put a physical barrier at that location. You can pursue anything on your own property and by speaking through an engineer, right? So once you're on your property, you can do what you see fit. And you would have to speak to an engineer to come up with that. But with a solution within the right-of-way, a physical barrier just isn't appropriate at this
See, what I
location.
was thinking of was like up on Westboro Street, for example, there's a house that's on a curve there, and they have a guardrail, and the guardrail keeps getting hit, and they even have rocks in their yard, just basically a big rock. But that's not, that'll do the same thing that the guardrail will do, which will just stop and create more damage on a car coming in. So, we have two choices here. Either we can do the recommend to withdraw, which would basically not grant it, but ask for them to look at some other safety measures. Or if you'd like, we can hold the item and you can advocate with the Public Works Committee in the future to bring it back in for another hearing and see if you can work with the Transportation Department and Public Works in the meantime to see if the recommendation. If you want to do that, I'd be happy to hold it for you.
I want something that's going to protect my house.
Okay, so why don't we do this? We'll do the chairman's orders as I stated already, and we'll hold the item on the pending list for future Public Works Committee, and you can have that conversation with them. And in the meantime, maybe Mr. Mello and staff from the Transportation Department and from the Public Works, which includes Mr. Mello, will be able to go out and take a look at it and see if we can come up with something else. Is that okay?
Yeah, and while I'm here, there's one more thing. I have a handicap spot on Jonathan Circle next to my house.
Okay.
And one of the posts, there's two posts, one of the posts is hanging over. And I'm afraid it's going to fall on my car.
All right, so for that, we can do a chairman's order to request the repair of that, but your best bet is to call 311 and just ask them to fix it. If it's just a loose signpost, and they'll make a
311?
311. It's a telephone number for all customer service in the city of Worcester. Just
really?
like we used to have information at 411, 311 is the city's customer service line. If it's just a loose sign or something, they'll give you a complaint number, and then you'll have it. It should get fixed within a week or so. If it doesn't, you can contact us, and we'll follow up for you.
Okay.
All right? Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate your advocacy, and we'll hold the item to see if there's anything future that could be done with it. Communication of the city manager, transferring information relative to the sidewalk rehab list. We're going to hold this for the other meeting that we have planned for Mr. Quirk. Is it Monday at 4 o'clock?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
So we'll hold this to our meeting for Monday at 4 o'clock. We'll probably just, chances are, we'll just do that on Zoom because it'll be a quick meeting, but we'll deal with that because some of these items that are on this list for sidewalks, if the street gets picked, there's no need to have it on the sidewalk list. So Mr. Raleigh explained to me today, and he was correct, that, for example, if a street is already planned for sidewalk work and you're going to pick it for a street, now you've got that extra funds that you had planned on spending for the sidewalk, you could use that someplace else because the street work includes the sidewalks. So we'll hold this until Monday at 4 o'clock. Mr. Clerk, would it be better if we just had the meeting recess until then?
No, Mr. Chairman, because we
because
have
we
to
have the
add
new
that
item.
additional item.
Then we will do that. Commissioner Westland.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to say on behalf of the Department of Public Works, I wanted to thank this committee, Councilor Pasillo, Councilor Russell, and Councilor Merrill Carlson. I've only been with you all for 10 months, but even before then, you've been very supportive of the DPW and of me. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I wish you all the very best in the next chapters of your life.
Commissioner, thank you very much. We appreciate your efforts and the efforts of your staff and that of your predecessors. And I know I've enjoyed my time working with your team. Councilor Pasillo?
I would just like to echo my colleagues' words. It's been really great getting to know you, and I've learned so much, and your department works very, very hard, so thank you both.
Thank you.
I always, since I decided I wasn't going to run for re-election, I said the best thing about saying you're not going to run for re-election is you get all these eulogies, and you don't have to go through the dying pot of to hear the eulogy. So, but thank you very much.
May I also, just as a final note, I know that it's been a request of yours for quite a while,
Yeah.
but this year, Mr. Mello and his team, they got Sunderland Road paved. So
Wow, and we want to thank you for that. There you go. I appreciate that effort. Bye-bye.
Thank
All
you.
right, motion to adjourn. All those in favor, opposed, so voted.